obsidian, and then I have 7 pearls. I get my first pearl trade. So with that first pearl trade, I'll be able to go this way and leave the Bastion and do something called a pearl hang, which I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with. But if you aren't, I'm basically leaving a pearl in the middle of an unloaded chunk. That's why I turn my render down, and that'll allow me to come back and wait for the piglin trades. And then instantly, as soon as the trades are done, I'll be able to leave and hop on out and be right where I want to be, which is where I threw the pearl. So literally all I'm waiting on right now is another pearl trade. I know I don't need that many. I just need like at least one more. And I actually get it. So I don't know if 19 is going to be enough because the fortress is far away. Remember, originally this fortress was 2,000 blocks for me because I was going different directions because of treasure bastions and just other things that I was unaware of while speedrunning. So the fortress itself, the real closest fortress, is actually still pretty far. So I didn't know if this was going to be enough pearls, but thankfully it ended up being enough. So here we are. I whiff a pearl. So I try to get up there. I actually nail this throw. If I missed that throw, I probably would have just ended the attempt because this would have just been bad. So now I'm trying to think. The reason I'm thinking here is because I'm going to do something that is very, very challenging. And you just saw a first pearl hang, but I'm going to try and do a second pearl hang here, which is going to be really annoying. And I actually messed it up because I didn't really know where I was going, and I should have pearled.
אלוהים ישמור, לא, זה לוקח כל כך הרבה זמן. וואי, אני בצונן רזח. מה זה? אני בקושי צריך את זה. כן, זה טוב שיש את כל זה. לא קצת גבוה. או. בעצם אולי לשחק יחסי פשוט. קצת. הופה. אוקיי.
Forward first, so that pearl landed, and then I could have turned my render distance down afterwards, but it ends up still working out because of how many pearls I actually had. So I'm able to pearl around on a low render distance here to get away from the pearl that I hung to go originally, or not originally, but to go back to once I get my blaze rods, which is a bit confusing, but you'll get the gist of it once we actually finish up at the blaze spawner here. So we're going to the fortress. I know where I have to go. This terrain was not very nice, as you can tell by, you know, just this, but I had some visual cues that I kind of knew. Like, I kind of knew this general shape right here, and I knew that I was close.
משעמם לי. מה? משעמם לי.
לא לגעת בפנים,
טוב.
כי נראות טוב.
וואי, צריך את זה. אני כל כך צונן. כל כך צונן. כל כך צונן.
And then I also had that strand of lava that also allowed me to know, like, okay, you're right here. And look at how convenient that is. The fortress is literally poking out of this. This is like the only part of the fortress that is actually exposed at all anywhere. So I was very, very happy I was actually able to find it. And this is probably why I couldn't find the fortress in the original one.
אוי, מה עשיתי? לא זה, זה קצת אני רוצה. ובוא נראה מה זה.
Fastest seed, most like.
צ'יטינג סקנדר, מה אכפת לי?
To any large
Ulai.
speedrunning community, fake
Maybe.
runs are nothing new. But most of the time, when a speedrunner fakes a speedrun, they're an outsider trying to quickly shoot their way to the top. There's been plenty of cases like this in Minecraft, from the most famous, Drem,
No! No way!
to the most recent, Big Tony. But when a known and trusted runner is exposed for cheating, it's much more surprising and hurtful. Well, about a week ago, that's exactly what happened when top Minecraft runner Floby was caught faking a huge world record. This is how it happened.
אני צריך את כל... אני עשיתי פה מלא מלא AFK. בוא התקדמתי קצת, בוא נראה לך מה עשיתי.
Floby had been establishing himself as a top runner for the past few months, repeatedly getting top level times, including becoming only the second runner ever to get 2 sub-12 RSG speedruns. There's been varying levels of evidence and suspicion placed against these runs, but we're going to get into that later. The first run we're going to focus on is the one that led to Floby being exposed, and the only one that is 100% confirmed to be cheated, his blind travel world record. And the best part of this whole story is the reason he gave for cheating this run in his recent response, but we'll get into that at the end. Before we talk about everything that we know now,
technical problems in
thank Antidotes, a Minecraft speedrunning mod and video editor, for compiling this information, as well as 11 billion for making his own video on it. If after this video you want to learn more, especially about suspicion against Floby's other speedruns which aren't confirmed to be fake, I'd recommend checking out that video. It'll be linked in the description. The first piece of evidence against Floby is the fact that he doesn't show the world creation screen in his video. He says that this is because he's using a reset mod that doesn't show the world creation screen. This is true about Duncan's reset mod, which is commonly used, but the problem is that Duncan's reset mod includes this button in the bottom left of the pause screen. When Floby pauses later in the run, the button isn't present, meaning he wasn't actually using the mod. This means that he lied about why he didn't show the world creation screen. That's obviously incredibly suspicious, given that if this were a set seed run, he would have to either hide the world creation screen or splice the run so that we didn't find out. And the former is much easier. Floby's not off to a great start, but there's plenty of signs throughout the run that individually could be brushed off, but together build a fairly strong wall of evidence against him. He spawns on an island and immediately spots a shipwreck and a ruined portal. He loots the treasure chest, but for some reason skips the food chest, which doesn't make sense in an ocean run, as it only takes a few seconds and is likely to give you some much-needed food. By checking the seed, you can see that he would have had to inconveniently break this sand with his fist underwater, something he likely scouted and knew would be faster, because if he didn't know this, there would be no something he likely scouted conveniently. Shipwreck and a ruined portal. He loots the treasure chest, but for some reason skips the food chest, which doesn't make sense in an ocean run, as it only takes a few seconds and is likely to give you some much-needed food. By checking the seed, we can see that he would have had to inconveniently break this sand with his fist underwater, something he likely scouted and knew would be faster, because if he didn't know this, there would be no reason to skip the food chest, unless he forgot about it. But such a skilled runner would never forget something as simple as the food chest. Next, he makes his tools, notably including an iron shovel. Because he only got 10 iron from the shipwreck, this means he can't make a flint and steel. While there's a pretty good chance that the ruined portal chest will have something to light his portal, it's another completely unnecessary risk, given that he can see this gold block from his spawn, meaning he can just make a gold shovel, which is faster anyway and isn't gonna break over the course of one speedrun. Another thing that might indicate that he knew what was going to be in the ruined portal chest. In addition to a flint and steel, another thing Floby finds in this ruined portal chest is a looting 2 sword. which is quickly becoming a staple of faked Minecraft speedruns. He heads to a magma ravine and enters the nether at 2 minutes and 10 seconds. A Bastion immediately loads in on his F3 screen, and he quickly finds the direction of it and heads
אתה רוצה לראות את הדבר הכי מגניב?
However,
רציתי אחריתם את
he
כל
doesn't look behind himself even once as he does this, something that many speedrunners
כל הווידאו סקרטון שלי.
If there was
הכנתי וידאו סקרטון פארם.
he wouldn't even know.
הדיזיין בלי ה...
Not check your
איך קוראים
surroundings
לזה?
on
בלי
random
הספאם
seed.
פרופינג.
But you might
הכי
do it
קל בעולם,
by running
כל
assist
כך הרבה
and
סקאלס
optimize
מסם.
your movement.
כל כך הרבה.
Next is the Bastion. He does the stable's triple chest route pretty ordinarily and is able to leave
210
at
אני חושב.
425 with 10 pearls, 20 obsidian, and an unknown amount of string and respawn anchors. Notably, he doesn't check how many explosives, which are necessary to kill the dragon, he has right before he leaves. But we can tell from when he checks his inventory earlier, combined with the trades he gets after that he has, at most, 3 explosives, which is the bare minimum necessary and is incredibly risky for a random seed run. Again, when leaving the Bastion, he doesn't look around at all, just choosing a quadrant and purling to it. The more you pay attention to it, the more suspicious his movement in the nether is. He's gathered far less information than he should have, and he's simply going in the right direction anyway. At 5 minutes, he arrives at the nether fortress. What happens next is one of the most incriminating things in the entire run, and it's what personally convinced me beyond any doubt that he cheated, before we had concrete confirmation. As he enters the fortress, he's got 3 paths in front of him. A dead end going forward and to the right, and more of the fortress to the left. In a random seed, no runners would go down the middle, because why would they? It's a dead end. And from this point, where Floby is making the decision of which direction to go, you can't see any more fortress in that direction. But, for some reason, Floby ignores the left and goes forward, where once he's a bit further, he sees a blaze spawner. This is suspicious, but not incriminating. He could have just made a mistake and gotten lucky. But here's the thing. In this run, Floby uses a strategy called calculated travel, where he builds 1 nether portal, returns to the overworld, and throws 2 eyes of ender to estimate the direction and distance of the nearest stronghold. He then returns to the nether, travels the estimated distance divided by 8, and builds a second nether portal, where unless he's done his math wrong or lost the angle, he'll be guaranteed to be close to the stronghold. Floby builds his first portal by this spawner, past the center path, and his eyes point to this stronghold. This is called an ocean stronghold, meaning you can see the stronghold from the surface of the water and directly enter it instead of fully triangulating and digging for it. Now stay with me. Here is what makes this incriminating. If Floby were to make the correct play and turn left at this intersection, he would have immediately found a different blaze spawner. If he were to make the next logical play and build his first nether portal at this spawner instead of the other one, the Eyes of Ender would have pointed to a different stronghold. A stronghold which is completely landlocked, meaning he would lose dozens of seconds in time spent triangulating the exact starting point of the stronghold and digging down to it. This is huge. He makes an inexplicable decision that no other runner would do, and it ends up saving him a massive amount of time. While it's not actually concrete evidence, it's the next best thing. And it doesn't end there. While fighting blazes, Floby knocks this one away from a blaze spawner and chases it. Killing it gives him 6 blaze rods, more than the amount he needed to leave the nether. In a random seed run, the building of the nether portal should be random within a certain range of coordinates, but instead of building his portal right where he is, he runs back to the blaze spawner and builds it on the bridge. Now this doesn't majorly help or hurt him, but it is the behavior of someone who's playing a scouted seed and following a script. Now is when he gets the blind travel world record, returning to the overworld at around 5.5 minutes. Although even before the run was exposed as fake, it was arguable that this should count as the world record, given he only had 9 ender pearls, giving him a very low chance of finishing the run. Next, he estimates the location of the stronghold and returns to the nether and travels to the spot of his second portal, stopping to get food along the way. Notably, he's very lenient about following the angle of his eyes, or keeping the angle. This is very important in calculated travel, especially when the stronghold is as far away as Floby's eyes told him it was. But when he returns to the overworld, he immediately finds the stronghold sticking out in the ocean. The last majorly suspicious thing within the run is his Stronghold Navigation. In Minecraft, Stronghold generation starts at what's called the starter staircase, and Eyes of Ender always point to the chunk that the starter staircase generates in. The end portal room is within a range of rooms away from the starter staircase, and speedrunners have developed hierarchies of directions to check when entering the Stronghold through the starter staircase. Floby doesn't enter through the starter staircase though, he enters through the room that's exposed in the ocean. When this happens, runners will go back to the starter staircase, and then navigate the Stronghold from there. They can do this by following the doors. If a door was placed from the opposite side of you, then going through it will bring you towards the starter staircase, and if it was placed from the side you're on, you're going away from the starter staircase by going through it. Floby goes through the first door he finds that leads towards the starter staircase, then enters this room. He's got a few paths. Going through the door on the left would take him further from the starter staircase, so he definitely doesn't want to do that. Going through the middle door would take him closer to the starter staircase, so this is the logical path. Going down the middle hallway would take him further from the starter staircase, since it's going away from this door. So, naturally, Floby goes down the middle hallway, straight to the portal room. There is a small defense for this, albeit a weak one. The portal room is visible for a very small moment before he makes his decision, while he's in third person. I decided to check exactly how long it's on screen. The answer is 8 frames at 60 frames per second. That's 2/15 of a second, or about 13% of a second. For reference, I'll put an Amogus on screen for that long. Now, instead of a bright red character, imagine you're looking for a tiny gray room in the middle of a gray screen. So, you can draw your own conclusions about whether he could have spotted the portal room in those 8 frames or not. I honestly don't know. He heads into the portal room on the second fastest pace ever, just 10 seconds behind Brentilda's world record, but the run ends to the portal not having enough Eyes of Ender. For reference, with Floby leaving on 10 Ender Pearls and throwing 2 of them, he would need a 4-eye or better, which has just a 2.6% chance of happening. So, after watching this run, there's plenty of reasons to be very suspicious at its legitimacy, and the aftermath of this run was equal parts gratifying, infuriating, and hilarious. I won't share any details, but for context, at the same time of these suspicions arising, Floby had also fallen under heavy criticism for harmful interactions with several members of the community. Needless to say, things were looking grim for him.
I need a light. He needs flint. So, he needs to check for gravel in this ravine. Most runners, they would swim, they would look at the top of the ravine, all the way around, maybe even swim up and down the ravine, then move to the middle of the ravine, look around, and then move to the bottom of the ravine and look for gravel. But we're just going to go straight to this gravel right here. Because, I don't know, we just get lucky, I guess. High roll on gravel placement. Sure. Now we'll enter the nether. This is the one run that we can safely confirm is not seed injected. And look at how he behaves differently from his other runs. Now, I haven't shown his other runs yet, but this is the only run where he pulls up, he thoroughly checks every single direction. He's going to pull out the JoJo window stretch planar fog abuse like he did on stream, and he's going to check everywhere. Okay, cool. Let's get to the Bastion. And by the way, he sees the fortress on the way to the Bastion. Because he's actually looking. How about that? Alright, so we play the Bastion. Awkward Bastion route, but it works. We're playing Good Gap Stables all the way down the left side, which is a pretty garbage place to be because it's very separated from everything, but it's fine. And we're going to get a little more piglins from the top. This is a good play. Throw the gold. And now we're going to wait on trades. This is important. So he has everything he needs right now, except for obsidian. And this guy, he all out forces 20 obsidian. Presumably, this is because you can't just travel to the stronghold without knowing where it is. Or at least having any reason of knowing where it is. So, to cheat, he's going to use calculated as his excuse. And he's going to force 20 obsidian that hard. But this is a case where it makes absolutely 0 sense to force 20 obsidian. So we're waiting for 10 obsidian. If you were really, really forcing 20 obby, you'd be gone by now. Just get the rest of the obsidian from chests. Why are we waiting here? But no, we got 10 obby. We're gonna go. Okay, this is fine. Now, every runner leaves the Bastion here. We have 10 obby. We're in stables. We have low health, low food, no gold armor. It is a risk to go through stables looking for obsidian, and it's a time loss. Well, we're gonna run away from a piglin. We're gonna kill the piglin. And then we're going to go all the way back through the Bastion instead of leaving like he should have. And instead of checking the chest that's to his left here, or checking chests that are above to his right here, he's going to go all the way down here to the place that doesn't make sense to go to. And guess what's here? Yeah, 20 obby. Bang. Now we're gone. It makes 0 sense. It makes absolutely 0 sense. But it gets worse. So, first of all, he plays bad. He loses a whole bunch of time here, because he's not a player with good decision making. And he gets to the blaze spawner, he makes a shield, blah blah blah, plays the game. Cool. Alright, let's blind travel here. Look at this. So we're in an ocean cave. We can't really distance check, so we're just gonna throw one eye. This is totally normal, you know. This is what you do when you're in an ocean cave and you have 20 obby. Just send in one direction, no distance check, because a distance check is just a waste of time. Better to play for a high roll. Okay. Now, he's gonna get the rest of his rods and head out. It's around here, or at least as he's moving. Let's watch this. The most important thing here is the angle of the stronghold. That is the only information he has. He doesn't know the distance. So we have to hold the angle through the nether. The angle was 166, but no, we're not following that. We're just sending it. Look for 166 on his F3. Nothing, nothing, nothing. He's not holding the angle. He's just going willy-nilly wherever he wants. And it was just a few seconds ago that he said, I think I hit the blind, with no clue how far the stronghold is. So he's going to send the portal here because he thinks he hits the blind. He has some information we don't know. And guess what's right here? Bang, exit the nether. Bang, throw an eye, whip around, expose portal room right in front of your face. How about that? Isn't that convenient? I think I hit the blind. Yeah, sure, dude. Yeah, sure. Oh, next run. All right. So this run, oh, it's this one. So this run is going to be a mapless treasure run. He's running around. He has terrible tree proximity. There's a shipwreck over here, and he's going to check for mapless treasure on 30 FOV. It's not a good play, but back in July 13th, sure, maybe you do this. Okay, this is fine. Now he sees the spike. There was a shipwreck there, but he's going to keep looking for mapless anyways. He says, I think there's one here. Okay, sure. Well, look at this. This is weird. This is the time when you go to 30 FOV and you look straight up to confirm if you're in the right chunk for buried treasure. And the idea is, if you're low enough that the sub-chunk you're standing in is rendering the buried treasure, then you'll still see a spike while looking straight up. He stands here and he doesn't get a spike. But he knows there's a buried treasure here. So what is he going to do? He's going to move. And ah, yes, there's the spike now. So then he digs and he gets the buried treasure. Okay. Now he has to run all the way over to these trees. And then he's going to find another entry. Alright. So, bang, nether spawn. We got a Bastion loaded. Let's find it. Fortress in front of his face. We'll go to the Bastion. All of his play makes sense. He runs double, triple chest stables. There's nothing unreasonable here because it's a very linear seed. There's no real opportunity or reason to cheat. Let's skip ahead all the way to calculated. All right, here we go. We're going to exit the nether. Bang. Sub 8 blind with 5 rods. And we'll do calculated. So he throws an eye. Again, not 30 FOV. This is an inaccurate distance check. And second eye. Again, not 30 FOV, and he gets a 0.7 angle change. As I mentioned before, a long distance is already inherently inaccurate. You really don't know much about the stronghold's location. You know within about 200 blocks. Okay, sure. Well, as he's sitting here, he's going to type out the exact location of the stronghold. Or at least he's going to say it aloud. There's another one where he types it out in chat. That's what I'm thinking of. So, as we're going here, no attempt to hold angle. And we're just going to go exactly where the stronghold is. Now, here's the issue. He's got piglins on him here. He wants to get to the specific location where the stronghold is, but he can't. And man, he really wants to get here. Even though there's some inaccuracy, he doesn't want to send it. He wants to get to exact coordinates, but eventually he realizes that there's no way he's going to get exactly where he wants to go. So he's just like, ah, screw it. We'll send it here. Now, this is so weird, dude. Watch. Watch this.
Death reset.
Death reset, backseat Tega. Alright, let's find the stronghold.
Alright, I think I'm a bit off. I think
I'm a bit off.
I need to go a bit more this way.
I think I need to go a bit more this way. Huh? How do you know?
Okay, so we'll see.
He doesn't have an idea. The stronghold could be 200 blocks behind him because of how inaccurate his distance checking is.
That way?
That way? Throw an eye. Already looking in that direction. Ah, yeah, that's where we're going.
I should be fairly close, though.
I should be fairly close. Alright, next run. Oh no, it's this seed. This seed is so bad. It's so obvious. Everybody resets here. So what he's going to do, he has no trees nearby. Tree proximity is terrible. He has a bad looking ocean. And he has a food wreck here. This is a bad shipwreck. He's going to swim to it. Horrendous reset efficiency. He's going to swim to it because he really wants to force this seed. Everybody has already left the seed. Oh yeah, rip a buried treasure. You're hoping to swim to a shipwreck with no trees nearby and find a buried treasure to swim to it? No nether entry in sight. Not even another entry. Oh yeah, let's just get this treasure real quick. Okay. The seed is completely forced, but sure, whatever. He's a terrible resetter. He's just lucky, I guess. Let's move on. He enters the nether. Nothing unreasonable. Goes into cave. Blah, blah, blah. Makes his portal. Alright, nether spawn. Bastion loaded. Let's find the bastion. There it was. Bang. Alright, now we look for a fortress. This is weird. So, for starters, he's going to thoroughly check, in stark contrast to several of his other runs. Thoroughly looking around for a fortress. He's going to look again at the top of this hill, I believe. Yep. Looking for a fortress over here maybe. But he doesn't see it. Okay, so he's thoroughly checked that direction. Now watch what he does when he leaves this house. Oh. This first. Okay, so there are chests that spawn in the lower section of housing that have generic loot tables, okay? They have obsidian, string, gold, blah, 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 and he is especially looking for obsidian. These chests spawn in sections 100% of the time that have certain identifiers. The sections do not spawn 100% of the time. The chests in those sections do. So he needs to look for these sections with certain identifiers, which I've outlined in one of the videos on my channel, okay? So he's checked the middle chest. Now, he's got to check the other chest. Look around and try to see one of these identifiers. Watch this. He's not looking at all. He's not looking. There's a chest up here. He's not looking. He's not looking. He's going straight to this. No obsidian. And then, immediately after that, we go up in here. Bang, there's a chest. How about that? Oh, but there's more. We go to the other side, which we really haven't looked at. And we're just going to find a chest in here as well. No use of the identifiers of these sections. No looking around. Just beeline after beeline after beeline. Straight to it. Now, we're going to leave the Bastion. Okay. So, we got our obby. Which direction are we going to go to look for a fortress? We've already checked behind us and to the right. Thoroughly. That's all we were looking at as we came into the Nether. The most logical direction to go is straight ahead here. Right here. But instead of looking in this direction, he's going to send a pearl down here. This pathing does not make sense. He's looking around, but he's only looking here, where he's throwing the pearl. He's already committed to this direction. And where does he go? He goes backwards. Backwards in the area that he already thoroughly checked for a fortress. Why are we going here? More weird pathing. We're going... Oh my god. Looking at pie chart, going in a direction we've already looked in, throwing a pearl, fully committed. And guess what's over here? Oh yeah, a fortress that we just didn't see before. How do we know that was there? I don't know, dude. We just got lucky. We just went in the right direction. That's all. He's just lucky. This is another calculated run. This is the one where he types out the coordinates. We're gonna throw an eye. Oh, this is bad. All right, we get our angle. Cool. 114.1. Okay. Now let's go to the side. Here's what I want you to do. You're an RSG runner playing the seed. You're doing distance check. You're going to look at this crosshair, center it on the eye, and then look at your angle. Okay? That's what I want you to do. Look at the crosshair. Look, look, look. As soon as it stops moving, look at the angle. Stops moving. Oh, the angle's gone. Hold on. Look at it again. Look at the crosshair until it stops moving. Look at the angle. Oh, it's gone. He didn't get this angle. There's no way. Oh, it's gone. Look at it again. Look at the crosshair until it stops moving. Look at the angle. Oh, it's gone. He didn't get this angle. Look. Center it on this. We're gonna throw an eye. Oh, this is bad. All right. We get our angle. Cool. 114.1. Okay. Now let's go to the side. Here's what I want you to do. You're an RSG runner playing the seed. You're doing distance check. You're going to look at this crosshair, center it on the eye, and then look at your angle. Okay? That's what I want you to do. Look at the crosshair. Look, look, look. As soon as it stops moving, look at the angle. Stops moving. Oh, the angle's gone. Hold on. Look at it again. Look at the crosshair until it stops moving. Look at the angle. Oh, it's gone. He didn't get this angle. There's no way. Watch for how long the angle is displayed on screen. Look at the angle now. Stare at it. 113.3, 113.4. It's fluctuating and it's gone already. No idea what the actual angle is. All right. But somehow, just like every single other run, with far distance and a terrible distance check, no idea what the second angle was, we're going to nail the stronghold. We're even going to type out course in chat. Now we're just going to send it. No idea what the angle actually is. We're not holding angle. We're just going to chords. Normally, you try to hold an angle and estimate how far you need to go, but he's just traveling straight to coordinates. Bang, he builds his portal in this spot. And guess where we're going to end up? Very close to the stronghold. He's got to dig up here. He's got to come out. And now, everybody does a distance check. The stronghold could easily be 300, 400 blocks away. Do your 17.5 blocks to the side, do your distance check, estimate the distance for triangulation. But no. We're going to go to the side here. Why are we doing this? Well, just watch. Go up here. Look in this direction. Oh, yeah, that's why we threw the eye over here. Because we hit the calculated, just like every single time. Let's do a stronghold nav check, eh? Watch this one. In the stronghold, there's a turn right, and there's a hidden room to the left. Okay. Well, this is a little edgy, but sure. We'll go here. Now, look in this direction. This direction doesn't make sense to look at, but the portal room could easily be behind here. This is away from any possible middle generation, away from any of the busy stuff in the stronghold. We're not even checking. Just a slight glance, and we're sending it this direction. Oh yeah, we're going to get this chest. And we're going to keep going. Everybody turns left here if you're going this way, because that's a 5-way. That's more branching. It doesn't look that bad if you go straight away from all the busyness. Good chance for a portal room to be there, but now we're ignoring it. Who cares what's to the left here? No idea. We're going to go this way because we feel like it. No checking down here, no checking